For most Westerners, you really learn World War II history, and it's predominantly about Germany, Nazi, the Holocaust, the Jewish people. We don't really know a lot about the Japanese invasion. We don't know about the Jingjing massacre.
You know the history of World War II, but do you know that war started in Asia years before it started in Europe? One of the worst atrocities and war crimes against humanity happened in the Eastern Theater, yet a few people in the West have heard about it. In this video, I will explain this chapter of the World Anti-Fascism War, the Chinese People's War of Resistance against the Japanese aggression. Hello everybody! Today I'm joined by a special guest from the United States, Cyrus Janssen,
Pleasure
who
to be
is
here.
a content creator who has 1 million followers on his YouTube channel, and he made a great content about China and the US and geopolitics. This place we're at now is called Lugo Bridge. Everybody in China knows about this history. We all learn about this bridge in our textbooks. Why? Because on July the 7th, 1937, the Japanese invaders, Japanese imperialists, seized this bridge and started launched this full-scale invasion towards China. The World War II, for Chinese people, it spanned for 14 years, from 1931 to 1945. And during that time, the casualties were just such a big number. Everybody knows how many Jews died in Holocaust, and we learned that history
about
as well.
6 million, right?
Yeah. But do you know that actually the war resulted in over 35 million Chinese military and civilian casualties? But Cyrus, I will have a question for you, because my experience when talking to many people in the Western world, they don't know anything that I just mentioned.
Right.
Why is that?
Well, I think for most Westerners, you really learn World War II history, and it's predominantly about Germany, Nazi, the Holocaust, the Jewish people, and the only context that we have with Asia would be the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor. So it was very interesting, growing up in America, and we don't really know a lot about, the Japanese invasion. We don't know about the Nanjing massacre. I did not learn this until I came to China and actually learned more about the Nanjing massacre and learned more about the history and what the Japanese did here.
How come we live in Asia, in China, know all the history in Western world, but people in those parts don't know what happened to us?
I think it just shows a little bit of the difference in the education system. Our education system in the United States is very focused on US history, and a lot more, if we study really abroad, it would be European history, because that's where most of our ancestors come from, is Europe. So honestly, we don't really learn a lot about Asian history.